an issue and a problem, man.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
reading, man, that motivating that reading, man, is so critical.
Yeah, as educators and as professionals, it's our job if we are in that industry. It's our job to figure out ways to motivate them. Because just think about us as kids, we didn't want that. I didn't want to hear, Jimmy or John come through the door and tell me that school is important and just say no when that whole deer thing was like, dude, like, really? Come on, man, let's just keep it moving. But it was the teacher's job to educate and to motivate, us. Because I'm a kid. I don't, half the time, like, I didn't want to get out of bed.
Right.
And them, they don't see, they think they're going to be kids forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's boring. Yeah.
I'm studying trying to figure out ways of making it fun.
Absolutely. Relevant. Yeah.
So I'm like, cause the ones that can read, and then they want to teach, they like, hey, are their levels improving? So when they take all these tests, I'm like, man, how was these tests defining who the kid is?
Absolutely.
It's just a test. Everybody's not tested.
Right.
I wasn't a test guy.
Me either. Right.
And me, I try to think back when I was young. Like, I didn't like reading.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Reading was always boring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I got to college, my roommate, he was from New York. I looked on the wall, I'm like, man, who's these people?
Yeah.
He's like, son, you don't know Thurgood Marshall, son, W.B. Du Bois. I said, man, them people ain't been in my neighborhood. Like, what do you get on my
Exactly.
I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know none of them. He was like, oh, son, like, son, please sit down, son.
Yeah.
So you telling me you don't know Booker T. Washington, man, they wasn't teaching none of that. So I'm like, and then if your parents don't give you that,
absolutely.
so now I give it to all my little cousins. I got $5.
Right.
I tell you when Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, Malcolm X, any little knowledge when I see them, on payday they all call me.
Yeah.
At first they was like, oh man. Now they call me on payday. They call me.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Martin, coming over.
I need to see Dollar.
I got that turn.
I got that Nat Turner.
I got that turn.
that Nat
I
for
got
you.
Marky Garvey. That's good. But that's back to motivation.
It is, man. That's unique, man.
Like the young man said, I got a 13-year-old granddaughter. And now the school, her mom and dad teach about imitating, strand mistress, strand Henry, just strand hanging. And she get, I go on the phone, I ain't gonna finna cuss. This I'm talking to this smarter than me.
Yeah.
So she broke it down to me. That was that, like he said, parent would give their study, a reward. They would this model they would look for a reward.
Yep. I mean, dude, I look at my daughter, I'm like, dude, she is so much more advanced than I was, and she retained the information. And I look back like, it was my fault that I wasn't paying attention. Some of the stuff I had access to a very good teacher. We had one of few schools in Jersey who had a black African American black history team. We had a black history course in my high school. And I didn't take advantage of it. And he was slick the way he did it. He was teaching the kids how to play chess. And I only took it, used to go to the class to learn how to play chess because everybody else was getting into it. But he used that as a motivator, and he used to have all type of kids in there. But it was too hard for me, so I'm like, I'm not gonna take your class, but I come in between, I come and talk to you, Doc. And they called him, Doc, but I'm looking back, he was creative, to get people to take his class and to learn that information. So we have to be creative and all that. So we know with the penalty and the false start. So when we look at sacks, right? Somebody said a sack. A sack is a game changer.
Yes.
A sack is a game changer because with sack, that definitely take you out of field position. Not only does it take you out of field position, it can be a casualty there. People can get injured, in this. So how do I relate to that? Sacks like these, this is us being reckless. This is us being reckless with our lives, texting and driving, drinking and driving. Those are major setbacks. Not living with passion, not living with purpose. Just talking about it and us not, really moving to the place of executing, because it's worth it. And you hear me say it a lot. that many times we live to exist instead of existing to live.
Right.
You know, and when we when we live just to exist, that's a sack.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We stifle. We can't do anything, and that's our job to make sure that we keep our head on the swivel. We have to know where our blind sides are. You know, I mean, we need to have people in their right position, because the most expensive or the most wealthiest, one of the most wealthiest people on the team, you know, is that left tackle. And the reason being because when Joe Theismann got his leg snapped by Lawrence Taylor, they like, yo, that was their blind side. So what happened, they start putting their best offensive linemen on the left, because most quarterbacks throw with their right, so they can't see. So the same thing with us is that we have to know what our blind sides are. We have to be aware of those things and not just take it for granted. Putting the right people in our lives, and we need to be disciplined. And I saw your hand.
Oh, I was on comment.
Go ahead, yeah.
Some sacks are like unintentional.
What you mean? Yeah. Go
Like
ahead.
our team is the reason why some sacks happen. So if their plays aren't set, or if they're not understanding the play call from the quarterback, then that's causing a sack. So as men, our circle means that. How am I trying to say this? Our circle is the reason why sometimes we have sacks.
Absolutely.
So if we don't be the quarterback that we are and set our plays, then we get sacked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it goes a step further with communication. Say what you mean and mean what you say.
Right.
You mean, I know y'all had a few weeks ago, y'all talked about lying. How lying has just become a way of life for some people.
Right.
Have no integrity, just like lie just for no reason. And then now you got to figure out a way how to remember that lie. Like, man, I said that I left at 7, and like she gonna remember that. She gonna remember that. And a lot of times we don't remember. You're like, baby, I thought you said you left at 7. You just said you left at 8.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, about that. Well, I didn't say. Well, I said I was about to leave at 7. You know, and then I left at 8. You know, and I know I've been guilty for lying and have to remember my lie, especially as a kid, lying to my parents. My lie caught up with me the whole year. You know, I had them little D's, but I turned them boys into a B. And then they like in the summertime, like, yo, why do you have summer school? You shouldn't have summer school. You had all B's. And my sister like, no, that joke, no. He was changing his you know, grades. And yeah, dude, I was changing my F's into a B. That's what it was. So I had to take summer school. Because I was lying, and eventually that lie caught up with me. But those sacks are definitely game changers, man. That communication and those people that's around you is huge, man. Because none of us want to be alone. So we're gonna be connected to people. So we just gotta be connected to the right people. Because we're not an island to ourselves. Injury. Who said injury? What do you mean by injury? What do you think when let's equate it. So when we talk about an injury, what's up, man? So when we talk about an injury taking place, what happens with an injury?
Changes the game. It changes the whole game. You get injured, then the team suffers from the whole dynamic. So your star player might be the one to get injured, and he costs y'all the whole game because the next person coming in and take your place might not be as good as you to be able to get the job done. Might not be able to communicate or whatever.
Right, and also you can be out for months. It could be something minor or something major.
Absolutely.
You know, you may not be able to perform as well as you did forever, or maybe you'll be able to recover. Who knows? You know, based on the injury.
Absolutely. And with those injuries, like you said, it can be because of decisions that we've made. We lost our job.
Yeah.
Injury can be we lost our job, homeboy. And you know, a lot of times, what'd you say?
I say like, or she won.
What you mean?
Like as if it's an argument or like anything. And you know for a fact that what you did was wrong, but you also argued that. And she won it. That's also an injury because really men don't like losing.
Absolutely. So, and I'm glad you brought that up. So what I say on that is like, what's more important for us to reconcile or win the argument? Reconcile.
Sometimes it's good to win. To show her.
I want to hear your point. That's good. I want to hear your point. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. Let me hear what your point is.
Sometimes it's good to win. So
Okay.
I know that she can always win.
Now, why are you saying that though? I need to know why you saying that it's good for you to win and for her to know that you won.
I don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
Well, what happens a lot of times with us, especially as men, if we're honest, we seldom want to admit that we want to lose, and we always want to win. I mean, that's something that is innate in some human beings off the top, and we have to condition ourselves or teach ourselves how to lose gracefully or how to take a setback responsibly. Most often, we want to just, at all costs, win, no matter who we run over or who we disrespect or anything like. Even with our opposite sex having an argument, we want to dominate the argument to the degree where sometimes we want to put our hands on our loved one because I want to force her or him to understand what I'm saying at all costs, as opposed to us stepping back and trying to analyze the situation and say, like you said, you